Good morning, it's Monday, November 30th, 2029 a.m. This is the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to review the agenda.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Santos,
Second. Go ahead.
second by Doug. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Item number 3 is discussion and possible action to approve ordinance 11/30/2001 regulating the operation of all-terrain vehicles and off-road utility vehicles in Muscatine County, Iowa on third and final reading.
I'd go to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion by Scott and a second by Santos. I would just mention that I did receive an email and I incorrectly responded and said that if this passes on the third reading, the only requirements yet for this to be enacted would it has to be published in all the county official papers.
And at
correct?
least one of the.
One of the three, okay, and then once that happens, then it would be official. And that's so probably another week before that can happen.
Yeah, probably.
Because we have to get it to the papers have to publish
in,
it,
yep.
it has to go out in publication, so.
So gas them up, but don't take them out yet.
Yeah, so it's probably another week and a half or so before that would be. Okay, so, do we have any input on this or any discussion?
Just to point out that, individuals that do eventually see that we pass this, pay attention to how we set this up. The ordinance does require, insurance, it does require, lights if it comes assisted. Just, take a few minutes to review this. It doesn't mean that this is legal all of a sudden and people can start going out there. We even looked at the regulation, the requirements for seat belts as it's offered in the unit as well too, so. Just be cautious, we wanna be able to utilize this, but utilize it intelligently and common sense factors, I guess is all I wanna share with the team and with the public as well.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion and a second, this would be a roll call vote. Santos,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Nathan,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion carries. Item number 4, items with the county engineer Keith White. Item 4A is discussion of possible action to approve various utility permits. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning. We have one this morning from Eastern Iowa REC of Wilton, Iowa. And they're simply wanting to set a pole and run power to 1985 215th Street to an existing property.
I have a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Nathan. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Did you have an update this morning, Keith, or?
Yeah, not a lot different from last week. So G28 is open to the folks that live there and need to use it. It's passable, you can drive through, but there's still construction going on the side. Most everything is done, but there are some items of work that remain that will be driven by weather right now. So if you drive through there, there are signs, road closed to through traffic. The locals, people that live on it are more than welcome to use it and are using it. But they should exercise caution when they travel through there. And that's about all that's happening in the construction world now.
I talked to a couple of residents out in that area and they were very pleased with the road and the changes that you made and they felt it was just good job and good job by you and your team. I know that was kind of a long and tough process to get through all that, but good job, Keith, and your team. Any other questions, comments, anything? Did you have anything else for us this morning, Keith?
I do not.
Okay. Anybody have anything for Keith?
No.
Thank you, Keith.
Sure.
Okay, item 5 is discussion of possible action to approve the minutes of the November 23rd, 2020 meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion by Nathan, second by Scott. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same? Motion carries. Item number 6 is correspondence. Santos, did you have any correspondence this week?
I had a email from Kurt Weiss in regards to the update on the blacktop for, the deep lakes and the cabins, and finishing up with some plumbing, kind of giving us a real good thorough update, so I appreciate that. Email that we got from, I think it was, Mr. Steve Shields in regards to questions to ATV, and I think you followed up on that, Jeff. I got a hard copy of a letter from a gentleman named Robert Vance in regards to, government officials looking at some of the information that he wanted to share with the public, officials. Another email with, Eric Furness, giving us a kind email from one of the residents that he's been assisting on, and I appreciate that feedback for our group. We don't tend to always get a lot of good public feedback for positive comments, but I appreciate that. That's all I have.
Okay. Nathan?
I had the same email Santos did. We also got a public health update. I believe that was it.
And that was pretty much my correspondence, other than a meeting I had with the Community Foundation and a group of folks. We got a duck in here this morning. The Community Foundation and a group that's working on housing issues in Muscatine County. At some point, we'll schedule a meeting for them and a review with the board.
Right.
Scott?
Other than that Mallard flight that just came through, I had the Kurt Weiss email, the email from Tom and Debbie Antrim. I also had a call in regard to a gentleman, how to go about receiving a variance to build a building on his property. And I directed him to Eric's office, and that was all I had.
Okay, Doug?
I had the email from Eric about the atriums, Kurt Weiss's update on Deep Lakes, ATV, regarding ATVs, and one from Public Health.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Do you have any committee reports last week, Doug?
I
Scott?
had none neither.
I had none. Nathan?
None.
And Santos?
None.
Okay, item number is eight is item to the administration office. Item number 8A is discussion of possible action to approve an ICAP safety grant application. Should have been in your packets. Nancy, did anybody wanna say anything about that, or it's pretty straightforward?
I think it's pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
unless you guys have questions.
Nope.
Move to approve.
I've got a motion from Santos,
Second.
second from Doug. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Nancy, did you have anything else for the board this morning?
I do not.
Okay. Okay, item number 9 is to receive information from county employees. Brian, did you have an update this morning you want to share?
Yes, sir. Here's our latest numbers for COVID-19. For Muscatine County, positive cases is 2,895. Of those recovered is 1,601. Total deaths are 68. We do have 3 long-term care facilities with outbreak status. Presently, Lutheran Living is 1. Any positive cases the past 14 days is 0 recoveries. Pearl Valley has 2. No positive cases in the past 14 days and 0 recoveries. And then Simpson Memorial was 27. Of those, in the past 14 days, 3 have been positive and 21 has recovered. And the last thing I have is the school districts are at 20.1%.
20.1%?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Any other county employees wishing to share something with the board this morning? Anybody, are there any? Yeah. Did I hear somebody?
Jeff, this is Eric.
Yep, go ahead, Eric.
Just a brief update on the sheriff's quarters edition. Sheetrocking continued last week. They're kind of doing the finish work on the mud and tape. Still waiting on the actual change specifications for one of the heating units in that building, but it is continuing. Hopefully we'll have that for you to look at next week. Later the new generator that'll be placed. There's some potential that it would affect a room where the servers and phone equipment are. So we're just going to try to troubleshoot that so we know well ahead of time what would be affected. There's a lot of old labeling on the panel, and we want to make sure that there's services can continue when that's going to be an all-day shutdown of a certain number of circuits in that building while they wire in the new generator. So we're going to try to get ahead of that and see what supplemental power we need. Other than that, that's all I had, just a little update on the sheriff's quarters.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
Eric, on the sheriff's quarters, are we, do you
Yes.
think 60% or 70% complete?
I would say probably 60. They've removed all the siding off the existing structure, put the new Tyvek weather wrap on, and are moving forward with putting the new exterior panels on the existing building as well. Like I said, I think all the sheetrock is for the most part finished. Just the sanding, getting real close to the painters being able to come in for that. So I'd say, yeah, that 60% is a good estimate.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you, Eric. Are there any other county employees wishing to share comments this morning? Bill indicates nobody. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to receive comments from the public. This is an opportunity for the public to make comments to the board. Anyone wishing to make a comment, please do so at this time. We have 2 callers on the line. Please, yeah, go ahead. State your name and address and issue.
Hello,
Yeah.
this is Don Briggs.
Morning.
Hey, with no source of your 3 public notices and stuff, how would somebody get a look into when that becomes effect on the ATV UTVs?
Don, this is Nancy Schreiber. The final step here is we have to publish it. I anticipate that happening the end of the week or beginning of next week, and once it's been published, we will post it, the finalized version on our website. So that certainly would be one way to know when you see a final posted on our website. That means that it's.
And what would that fall under, Nancy?
If you go to the front page of our website and scroll down, there's a page that is actually called Muscatine County Ordinances. And if you click on that, it shows our current adopted code of ordinances. It shows any additions that have been made to that are final, and it shows any draft ones that the board is considering.
Okay, all right.
So we would anticipate that sometime next week, Don.
Okay, thank you. Guys, the only really complaint I had is you put the restrictions on, but hey, next year we can get that taken care of.
All right, we look forward to the conversation, Don.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to make a comment this morning?
There's one caller that's unmuted, but they've been unmuted the entire time, so.
Okay. Well, hearing none, meeting is adjourned.